Sorry for some technical delay. So yesterday we have started with your unit number 2, which is ER model, ER diagram, and then we have seen that why ER is important, why ER diagram is so much important, right? Design, why design is so much important. We have seen with some example of civil engineering, right? When you go to the customer, and when the customer will give you the requirement, and if you directly start building any product, then you need to face some problems. So it's always better to have design on the paper first, verify it, approve it by customer, and then you can start. So ER diagram will play the same role. ER diagram will play the same role, and it is nothing but some logical representation of your database. And it's always better to create the ER diagram first when you are creating your database. So we have seen overview of design process. Then we have started with entity and relationship model. And what is ER? E means entity and R means relationship. And then we have started with the first term, entity. So entity is nothing but a thing or an object in the real world, which is different than another thing or object. You can find anything. One thing which is different than another thing, it's the entity in the world. And how we can identify any entity? By its attribute, because every entity is having different attributes. Like this stool is having different attribute, the chair on which you are sitting is a different attribute. A human, a person, a student, computer, laptop, fan, projector, switch, networking devices, whiteboard, everything are different and are known by some attribute. And each entity should be having one unique attribute which it can be differentiated with other. Because if I take stool, then height of the stool. Now this table is also having height. Height can be of stool, height can be of table also. So each entity should be having at least one attribute from which or by which you can differentiate between two entities. Like a student, you all are same students. What is the differentiation between you? That is your GR number or your roll number, because each student is having different GR number. Your city can be same, your country can be same, your name can be same, your height can be same, your weight can be same, but your GR number cannot be same, right? And each entity is having attribute, and each attribute should be having value. Now, in database, the entity set is nothing but the table. So, in ER model, entity set is table. After this chapter, we will learn relational model. Relational model, the relation is also table and table. Right, so a table can be pronounced by three different ways. Either table, one is entity set. Now then when we are learning ER model, we call as table as an entity set of entities. And when we will learn relational model, the relation is nothing but a table. So in this slide, you can see that there are two entity set. One is instructor, or a teacher, or a professor, whatever you say. And one entity set is student. One entity set is instructor, one entity set is student. Now tell me, instructor, what is entity? This is entity set. But in instructor, what is entity? What do you call entity? Every different row is entity. Like Crick, Rowe, Katz, Srinivasan, Kim, Singh, Einstein, all these are entity. Why these are in same entity set? Because all are instructor. Yes, all are instructor. That's why that are in same entity set. Now in student, what are the entities? Every row, right? Tanaka, Shankar, Zhang, Brown, Oi, Chavez, and Peltier. All these are different entities. Why it is in the same group? Because all these are student. Now you can see student cannot be part of instructor entity set and instructor cannot be part of student entity set. Right? Now tell me, in the entity set instructor, what are the attributes? Because entity set, attribute, value. These three things we have done yesterday. What are the attributes? What do you call as attributes here in left hand side table? Those numbers are values. What are the attributes? IDs and what is the second row column? Names, exactly. Instructor IDs, the first column is nothing but attribute. Row is nothing but entity. So instructor entity set is having two attributes. One is instructor and second one is name. Right? And what about the right side table? That one? Student ID or roll number or enrollment number, whatever you call, and student name. Right? And obviously value 76766, Crick, Katz, all these are values. Got my point? Everyone, entity set, attribute and value. Everyone? Anyone is having any doubt? Now, do you see any relationship between these two entity sets? Do you see any relationship? Can you relate these two? Exactly. You are right. Obviously, instructor can be related to the student. If I am an instructor, obviously I am related with you with some relationship. We share some relationship. Right? I am your instructor. You are my student. A student is sharing some relationship with instructor, and instructor will share some relationship with the student. These are related entity. So now we are coming to our second term because this is ER model. So entity we have done, entity set we have done. Now we'll see relationship, because we are not interested in standalone entity set. We are interested in what is the relationship between two. Now there may be only one relationship. There may be more than one relationship. And we'll see. So a relationship is nothing but an association among several entities. They are associated. For example, we can define the relationship advisor that associate instructor Katz with the student Shankar. Katz is the advisor of Shankar. So this is Katz, who is instructor, who is advisor of Shankar. In our language, mentor. There is a relationship between Katz and Shankar, right? Because Katz is the advisor of Shankar. These relationships specify that CADS is an advisor to the student Shankar. Right. A relationship set is a set of relationship of the same type. Same type is very important. A relationship set is nothing but a relationship of the same type. For example, some instructor is advisor of some other. For example, Crick is advisor of Tanaka, Srinivasan is advisor of Zheng and Brown, Kim is advisor of Oi, Singh is advisor of Peltier, and Einstein is advisor of Chavez. So all the instructor and students are sharing the same advisor relationship. So that is the set of relationship. So it is a relationship set. Now it is not compulsory that there is only one relationship is possible. Apart from advisor, this teacher can be a subject teacher to the student. For example, Crick is teaching some subject to Brown and Zheng. It's not advisor, it's a teacher. So Crick is advisor of Zheng and Brown, as well as Crick is subject teacher of Zheng and Brown. So this is second relationship. It is not there only two, more than two also possible. So for example, Kim is the head of the department. So Kim is HOD of, head of the department of all the students. Third relationship. Right. So multiple relationships are possible, but what is relationship set? Which is relation of similar type. Getting my point? So student, instructor and student can be related with many relationships. See, same. Crick is advisor of Tanaka, Kars is advisor of Shankar and Zheng, something like that. Next. Now we'll see attribute in the detail. But there is one attribute which is called descriptive attribute. See all these small terms, it will be asked in 1 marks, either in MCQ or in a 1 marks question. What is descriptive attribute? And I'll also keep asking you, what is descriptive attribute? Simple, composite, multi-value, single value. There are n number of attributes. So descriptive attribute, a relationship set, advisor with the entry set instructor and the student. Now we have seen that the relationship advisor between instructor and the student. Associate the attribute date with the relationship to specify the date when the instructor become advisor of the student. Now what we have done, we have associated the date on which the instructor became advisor of the student. For example, Crick became advisor of Tanaka on 3rd of May 2008. Katz became advisor of Shankar on 10th June 2007. Right. So descriptive attribute is nothing but attribute of relationship. Generally what we have done, the entity set is having attribute. Like this entity set, instructor attribute are instructor ID and name, student ID and name. But when your relationship set is having some attribute, what we will call descriptive attribute. 1 mark question. When you associate any attribute with any relationship set, then that attribute is called descriptive. Ready? Yes or no? Feedback is much important. Now as this is, I have already explained, a relationship can be binary. That means 1 to 1 means only 2, or it can be multiple way also. Like we can associate in many ways, because I am your mentor, I can be your advisor, I can be your head of the department, I can be your subject teacher. So it can be binary. If we share only single relationship, then it's binary. But it can be more than that, though I have already explained this. Now the third is attribute. Entity set we have learned, relationship set we have learned. Now third one is attribute. Right. For each attribute, there is a set of permitted value called domain or value set. For example, these are the attributes. Cats, Srinivasan, Kim, Singh, Einstein. So this is the attribute. So what is the domain? Set of permitted values. Now what is set of permitted value here? Alphabets. Can anyone name Crick 1, 2, 3? Can digit come in the name? No. Anyone name Einstein 2315? Right. So what is domain of name? Set of all the alphabets. It is domain. Now your GR number. Your GR number, what is the domain of your GR number? Your all GR number, set of digits 0 to 9. Anyone is having GR number with alphabet? Domain. Now, domain of an email ID. Email. Then set of alphabet will come, set of digits will come, set of special characters will come, because in email, set of @ dot, underscores, many things will come. Right. So each attribute is having some domain. See, all these things will perform in the practical also. We'll put the constraint on the table. For example, if I have specified the data type, character, I cannot enter the digits. It's nothing but data type. Example is also given that we discussed the domain attribute. Course ID might be the set of all text string and certain length. Yes, we can specify the length also. For example, your GR number, how many digits in your GR number? 6. So we can do that also. 6 digits only. If I try to enter 7 digit, it will give me error. What about your enrollment number? How many digits? You need to calculate, right? How many digits in your enrollment number? 11. 11. So this is domain. Got the domain? Now, important question again, types of attributes. If you are having a relationship set or entity set, what type of attribute can be there? So it can be categorized into multiple categories. One is simple and composite attribute. Simple attribute and composite attribute. Now what is simple? Simple, that is, they have not been divided into subpart. Any attribute which cannot be divided into subpart is simple. In opposite to that, composite attributes means it can be divided into subpart. Example is also given, your enrollment number is simple. Can you divide your enrollment number into multiple parts? No, it's a single enrollment number. Same with your GR number. But what about your name? Name can be divided into subpart. First name, middle name, last name. So your name is the composite attribute because multiple components are involved in that. If I write simple name, the name can be divided first name, middle name and last name. It's written all. Same your address. Your address is also a composite attribute because it involves street, city, state, postal codes, country, something. Now street also is a composite attribute. street number, street name, apartment number, something like this. So your attribute, which cannot be divided into subcategory, is a simple attribute. If you can divide it into the multiple parts, it is composite attribute. Got it? Now, can anyone give me the example of simple and attribute, simple and composite? One more example. Mobile number, you can say simple and you can also say composite, because mobile number comes with country code +91. It is also composite. So M means main building, B for B wing. Yes. Age, exactly. Age, height, weight, all these are simple, right? Age is some special, age is having some special category. Will come to that. Now, what about composite? Mobile number, right? Country code and number. So simple and composite. Single valued and multi-valued. By name you can understand, right? Single value means only one value is possible, like your passport number. Do you have two passport number at a time? No. So enrollment number, do you have two enrollment numbers? GR number? So all these are single value attribute, because only one value is possible for that attribute, not multiple. Phone number can be multi-valued, because a person can be having two mobile numbers, three mobile numbers. Now people are keeping 2-3 phones, each phone with multiple SIM card. I don't know what they are doing with so much phones. Then dependent name. Yeah, whenever you are taking some policy or medical insurance or something, they ask your dependent name. So a person is having 0 dependent, 1 dependent, 2 dependent. For example, in my case, what are my dependent? My wife and my kid. Okay. For example, in case my mother and my father. So these are dependent, these are multi-valued attribute. Why we are learning? Because when you are designing the database, you need to specify all this. Whether this my column or attribute is single valued, or should I enter only one value, or multiple values are also possible. So to denote that attribute multi-valued, we enclose it in the curly braces. See, like this. If your attribute is multi-valued, you need to, in ER diagram, we'll see, last point is the diagram, we'll see that phone number is multi-valued attribute. Upper and lower bounds may be placed on the number of values in multi-valued. Now you can also choose upper and lower bound, means only 2 mobile numbers are allowed. 2 is the upper bound. Lower bound is minimum 1 mobile number is allowed. Minimum 1 is required, maximum 2. So you can put upper and lower bound on the values. Now derived attribute. Now we have seen simple and composite, single valued, multi-valued, and the third one is derived attribute. So derived attribute from the value of other related attribute or entity. Derived means calculated. If you are calculating your attribute's value based on some other value, then it is derived attribute. For example, age. She said age is derived from date of birth. If I tell you my date of birth, can you derive my age? Yes. So such are derived. Any example, any more example of derived? What, pardon? Interest, how can you derive interest? One more example is length of service. If I give my joining date, I joined Marwari on 18th June 2017. Can you derive my length of service? Address? Country? See, derive is calculation. How can you calculate a country name? Generally, derived attributes are numbers, numeric values, not the alphabets. Right? See, the last line, which is very important, the value of a derived attribute is not stored but computed when required. You should not store the value of, for example, if you are storing date of birth, is it necessary to store age also? No, whenever you need, you can calculate it. You need to just fire a query. Simple. Because it's wastage of the space. If you are having 1 million customer, for 1 million customer, if you are storing the birth date as well as age, wastage of memory. Right. So derived attributes are not stored into the database. One more is null values. The attribute takes null value when the entity does not have value for it. For example, if I ask you about passport number, and what if you don't have passport? I should not put 0. I should not put nil. But in the language of DBMS, it is null. It is written NULL. Null means nothing or does not exist or does not known. Let's see in the detail. The null value may indicate not applicable. For example, Aadhaar card. In India, if you know that Indians are having Aadhaar card, every citizen is having their national ID. If I go to Nepal, I don't have Nepalese national ID. So, not applicable to me. So what it will come? Null. NULL. That is value does not exist, because for me, Nepal national ID does not exist. For you, Aadhaar card does not exist. Right? Second, null. Null is having many meanings. Second, null can also designate that attribute value is unknown. It is there. But right now, if I ask, what is your passport number? Right now, I am filling the form. Tell me your passport number. You have passport. But right now, you don't remember the passport number. So it is also considered as a null. If you don't fill it, it is null. In other case, the value does not exist even. But here value is there, but you don't remember it. Third, an unknown value may be either missing, that means value does not exist, but we do not have the information, or not known. We do not know whether or value actually exists or not. So in the moral of the story, if you don't remember the value, if value does not exist, or you don't know, you don't have that X, Y, Z. See, when you go to rural area, if you ask for email ID, the rural villager people, they don't have email ID, right? That is, value does not exist, which is null. So every blank in the database, when you are creating the table and inserting the data, every blank is considered as a NULL, null. Okay? It's not 0. It's null. Everyone, fine? Key, I am skipping for right now. We'll learn very detailedly about the key when we'll be in the lab, and we will learn the chapter of normalization. So right now I'm skipping here. Constraint. Remember this word constraint? We have learned in chapter number 1, and I told that I will ask whenever it is required. What is the constraint? Now let's ask the students who are online. So sorry, students who are online, I cannot pay attention on the chat because it's not possible. Yes, what is the constraint? Exactly. Constraints means rules. Every database should be having some rules that database needs to follow. We have given so many examples, right? A balance cannot be less than 0. Loan amount should not be greater than minimum, means remaining loan. For example, I have taken loan of 10,000 USD and my remaining loan should be either 10,000 or less, not more than 10,000. Something like this. So rules means rules, and you need to, you can say, enforce that rules on the database. Now, as far as our ER model is concerned, rules are mapping cardinalities, participation constraint, and key. Key will skip right now. Today we'll learn mapping cardinalities and participation constraint. And you must remember this because in next lecture I'm going to ask it again and again. First, mapping cardinalities. So by figure you can see that if you are having two entity set, in simple word, if you are having two tables with some record, so how many entities are related with how many entities of the other table? How many entities of entity set A is related with how many entity of entity set B? So it's obvious 1 to 1. What it means? An entity A is associated with at most one entity in B. So entity in entity set A is associated with at most one entity in B. At most one, not more than one. And entity in B is associated with at most entity in A. So you can see A1 is related with B1, A2 is related with B2, A3 is related with B3, but A4 is not related with anything, any entity in B. Is it allowed as per the definition? You see the definition, and as per the definition, it is allowed. It is allowed because it is telling maximum 1, but minimum can be 0. Now, practical example. Consider when I am creating the database, I want to put the constraint. An instructor can be advisor of only one student, and a student should have only one advisor. I'm repeating. An instructor can be advisor of only one student, and a student should be having only one instructor. This is one-to-one. For example, these are instructor, these are student. So A1 is advisor of only B1. A2 is advisor of only B2. A3 is advisor only B3. And A4, it is possible that some instructor don't have student. It's fine. What my point? Second example. In bank, a customer can have only one bank account. If you go to bank, bank's rule is that a customer can have only one bank account. In the reverse part, a bank account can belongs to only one customer. No joint accounts allowed. Got the point? A customer can have only one account. If I go to Bank of India, I can have only one account. So one-to-one, customer to account, one relationship. And if I go to Bank India, I want to have joint account. That means my account should be belongs to me and my wife. No, one-to-one. Got this? Now this is the example. Now next example you need to give for next category. This is one-to-one, one-to-many. An entity in A is associated with any number, 0 or more, with the entities of B. But an entity B, however, can be associated with at most entity in A, one-to-many. Example. Joint account, but if you put account in left hand side, then it's right. I'm putting customer on left hand side. Yes, example. Same example. A professor can be mentor of many students. A teacher can be mentor of many students. But a student should be having only one mentor. Do you have multiple mentors? No, but I am having multiple students. Got my point? Same our bank. I can have multiple accounts in the bank. So for example, A1 is the customer. Customer is having account B1 and B2. A2 is the customer. It is having B3 and B4. If I create bank database and bank requirement is there, yes, a customer can have multiple accounts, then B3 and B4. A3 is having one account. But reverse is not true. I cannot have joint account. One-to-many. Reverse, many-to-one. A student can have multiple mentors, but a mentor should be having only one student. I cannot have more than one bank account, but joint accounts are allowed because accounts can be belongs to multiple customer. Same. Last, many-to-many. No restriction. A teacher can have multiple students, and a student should be belongs to multiple teacher. I can have joint account and I can have multiple accounts in the bank. What the point? One-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, many-to-many. Yes? You are telling in this one-to-one, if there is a empty entity in the B, allowed, either in A or on the B. 0 is allowed in both the side, but not more than one. Right? 0 is allowed. Not more than one. Any doubt, any query, anyone? Okay, so we'll stop here and we'll do same again in the next lecture. Okay, student who are online, thank you. You can leave now.